Hello and welcome to Aging Gracefully. We are at episode 7. Can you imagine? Yes, I'm excited. I am your host, Roseanne. Thank you for joining me here today. Thank you to my family and friends who provide feedback and suggestions, which I'm taking into consideration and I'm actually applying. So I thank you so much for your support because that's what is motivating me to continue this conversation. So keep the conversation going, make your suggestions. I love it. Just keep on doing it. This week, I want to start by telling you a story, not a makeup story, a real story. So, I had a conversation with a friend of mine this week, and I'm happy that we spoke about it. You know somebody else who has an aged parent, but it's not until you start talking with other people that you realize there's so much similarities in what we're going through as adult caregivers. And so it was just great talking to him. He lives with his mom, and he is her main caregiver. She doesn't have Alzheimer's dementia, but she is, you know, fairly advanced in age. They spend a lot of time together. I love seeing the pictures, the videos that he shares, just showing them going out and eating and just enjoying life. So, friend, continue doing what you're doing. I really admire just the effort that you make to spend time with your mom. I can see the love and just the time you spend with her. I'm sure she appreciates it, and you guys seem to be enjoying each other's company. So, keep sending out those photos. Something that he said towards the ending of our conversation that really sits with me is that nobody prepared us for this. It's a fact. Like nobody prepared you as a child to say, "Hey, there is going to come a time or there will come a time when you will be the caregiver of if not your parent, but an aged loved one in your family." And some days, to be honest, like we're not ready for it, but ready or not, we have to do it. We find it sometimes hard to not make a comparison, to have that contrast, to see our parent as they were before, how we knew them, and the parent that we're having now to deal with. But as I always suggest, and remember these are just suggestions, try to make sure that you enjoy the journey. Aging is not a life sentence. It is not a downward decline. It is just a process, part of life. So find ways to enjoy this part of your journey as an adult caregiver. So, my friend, I spoke to you already about it. I really want to have you on the program at some point. I know we're living in two different countries, but we can make it happen. So, if you're listening, get ready because I want us to talk on the program. So, last week, for those who watched last week's episode, my daughter Dana was here with us and she was sharing her journey as a grandchild living with a grandparent who has Alzheimer's dementia. She talked about how our family, we find ways to make sure that my mother keeps engaged, that we create memories and experiences for her. And one thing that she highlighted was that, or she emphasized, is the importance of capturing the moments, taking pictures, as many as you can, building that memory bank, because if your aged parent lives long enough, they will start forgetting some of the experiences that they have had. Sadly to say, some of them may even start forgetting who we are. And to make sure that we have something to remind them, we want to take as many pictures as we can. All right, for my family, my mother has always been a part of our lives, like my life, my sister life, and by extension, my children and my niece and nephew. My mother, that's her safe space. That's where she finds comfort, just caring for us as a family. So my daughters have experienced just seeing the changes, the transition. And if you watch the last episode, you would have heard where Dana said it was just recently that we really start noticing that, hey, this is not just regular forgetfulness. This is really the disease that has taken my mother's brain. And it was a bit emotional for her to share because she has now become part of the caregiving team for my mother. My daughters are now actively helping us, the adult children, taking care of my mother. And so I know it's hard for them to see the difference, the grandma that they knew before and the grandma that they know now. My mother was integral. She played an integral role in helping my children learn to read. So that was not on me. I don't know if I had the patience for it. But she taught my daughters how to read. And part of their nightly routine would be after eating and taking a shower, the three of them would huddle on the sofa and they would watch Wheel of Fortune. And that's how they would learn, the letters and the words. And I think that just sits in with my daughters to know that this is what my mother did for them. And now the role has changed. And we're taking care of our grandma. And I know it's a difficult thing for many people to experience, but I don't want you to only focus on the difficulty. I want you to take hope, take comfort. Look at it as you being able to give back. Because there are so many people who wish they were able to give back, that they had the chance to share with their aged parent, and they don't have that opportunity. So see it not as a challenge, but as a gift. Okay? My daughters have helped me a whole lot in how I engage with my mother. I am not always the most patient person, and there are times when I expect my mother to remember. That sounds strange because somebody who has Alzheimer's dementia, I'm asking a whole lot. So I see the unreasonableness of it. However, it happens. Some days I expect more from her, for her to remember more, especially when we just have a conversation about something and then she immediately forgets and doesn't do it. And then I get really annoyed when I expect her to eat because I made a list of what her meal should be like when I'm off to work. And I just think, hey, she just needs to follow the list. But I am not really thinking properly, is what I'm going to say. I'm being kind to myself because she has Alzheimer's dementia and she forgets. It is a reality. So my daughters have really helped me to say, hey, mommy, like, kind of check how you communicate with her, think about it. Remember, she's not remembering. They have given me little doses of grace so that I can now look back and say, I need to make some changes. Sometimes it takes honest, loving feedback from our loved ones or just from others for us to reflect and improve upon ourselves. So just having a growth mindset, being open to receiving feedback and working from that. All right, let's take a moment to really focus on Alzheimer's dementia. We usually associate this disease with older people. However, studies have shown that it's really hitting closer home. Younger people are having it. It was about 2 weeks ago I was watching a video, YouTube video, and it was an interview between person that was being interviewed was Michael Irvin. If anybody knows, you're a cowboy fan out there, you'll know who I'm speaking about. And that's when I found out through that interview that his wife has been living with Alzheimer's. And I'm like, what? Because this is a fairly young man and his wife has onset, they noticed that she was, exhibiting some behaviors and they thought it was menopause. But he shared that after about a year or a year and a half of testing, that's when they realized it was early onset Alzheimer's. And so that has created a shift for them as a family. You can go ahead and find the video and it's there to be watched. I won't get too much into it, but I just want you to know that it is real. It's happening to younger people. And as I mentioned last week, go ahead and speak with your doctor about creating a cognitive plan just for you. Don't worry about anybody else. Don't worry about what other people are doing. Don't compare yourself with anybody. Do what's best for you. And if you believe that this is something that you need to do, go ahead and do it. Get informed. Some of us, we are aware of things, but we don't seek further information. So we wait for other people to tell us things. We need to be proactive and get informed. Inform yourself so that we can help ourselves and help others. Let's look within ourselves. Let's take time to really look in, do some introspection work, and find out what it is that works for you. Aging is not a natural part of our lives. So let us be proactive. Let us find what works for us. Let's find out what's best for us. Approximately 99% of Americans value brain health. Guess what? Of that number, only 9% can actually say that they know how to maintain brain health. They're just not having the conversation. They value it. They even value it more than physical health. But we're not doing anything about it. So let it be that today is your starting day. Go ahead. Today, I don't have a question for you because I'm looking forward to hearing your questions for me. I would love for us to have this conversation. So go ahead. Let's talk about it. And this is it for this week of Aging Gracefully. I look forward to seeing you again soon. Bye.